Outstanding, friends. Let's go. Law of attraction. We're going to talk about why does life seem to be unfair. Now, without me even talking yet, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to explain to you, depending on how you want to use your perception, why life seems, because that's why it's there, seems to be unfair, or why life is unfair, or life is just not unfair at all, and you tripping. It's up to you how you receive it, but that is what we're going to cover, yes?
Yes.
Now, before I tell you some stuff, I want you to tell me, or let's talk just real quick, okay? So this is, I gave you stated up front what I want to do. I'm giving it to you right now. Let's do round robin. I got 4 of you in front of me. Let's do round robin. Is life unfair?
Life isn't fair.
Life is not fair. Check.
Yes.
Life
It's not fair.
Life is not fair. We got our resident strong man.
Life is not fair.
Life is not
I want to
fair.
say life is a box of chocolate.
Life is a box of chocolate.
That's what I want to say.
He's on his Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
I gotta go against everybody and say it actually is fair.
Okay, life actually is fair. Would you like to know the objective answer?
Yes.
Before I give that to you, defend life is not fair. I'll have each of you defend it. You're not wrong. The truth is, whether you, we're going to borrow from, I want to say it's Henry Ford, whether you're wrong, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So all of you are right. Then I'll give you the objective answer. Let me go with him first. Strong man. Life is not fair. Defend that.
It's not fair because of the opposite.
Fair enough. He said life is not fair because every time you do a yin, you create a yang, is what he's saying. And that's not fair. It's a pretty solid argument. But now I'm going to poke holes in everyone's argument. It's 2 holes right here. Even your argument, poke holes in. It's not to say you're wrong. It's just you accept opposing viewpoints. It makes for a stronger argument. Is that fair? But if this happens every time to every person, then that is fair. Get it? Okay. Now, that's not to say it's wrong. I'm just telling you. I'm poking holes. You go. You defend.
Life is unfair because there are things, you know how they say bad things happen to good people.
Mm-hmm.
When you see that, it makes me tense.
No problem. Bad things happen to good people. Okay, try to talk loud enough so my mic can hear you. So we've got good person. Okay. Yeah. And this eraser. Well, hold on. And here is bad. And it gives birth. It's pregnant. It gives birth to eraser. And now, sickness in my body or nobody. I don't know, right? Okay. The argument against that is a simple philosophical question. Or 2. Does life really happen? Or do bad things really happen to good people? Or 2 great philosophical questions. Are there any good people? Or are there bad things? That's the hole in the argument. Depending on how you grew up, or some religious circles tell you there are no good people. That's why you need the cross. Depending on how that's not all of Christianity, but that is what you would call total depravity. That is a large chunk of it. There's no bad. If you were good, there would be no reason for the cross. Does that make sense to you? Therefore, there are no good people. So your argument is out the window. Bad things can't happen to good people because there are no good people. Fair? Or is there bad things? Why? Because what are you comparing bad to? Is there such thing as bad? You go, yes, it is. Okay, so what's bad? Now you have to tell me what is the greatest bad of all bad. And then you would say what? Just give me, what is the greatest bad of all bad?
Death.
Is death bad?
No.
I'm not telling you it's not. I'm just saying, what is death? Do you know?
It's,
Does anyone know what's on the other side of death?
no.
So if it's nothing, if you have no idea, actually nothing is something. So if we don't have a form of what's on the other side, then does it exist? No. Therefore, your argument is, it's out of, you get it? It's proven wrong by the question in itself. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Even though I believe that life is fair,
Okay.
with the current
Okay.
argument,
So you stop. Okay, well, okay, go with the current argument. Okay, I was going to
With-
stop you, but go ahead.
okay, with the current argument, what happened to you would be considered bad.
Would it? Because I'm not saying it's not. I'm just poking a hole in everyone's argument. Yes. And is there a bad? So let's finish chasing this argument. What would be the baddest of bad? Here, let me fast forward that argument. If I got to the most perfect bad there is, wouldn't that be perfect? And isn't all perfection good? Then therefore, there's no such thing as bad. I'm not telling you this is right. I'm just telling you I can poke a hole in every argument. Is this fair? Go ahead.
I think life is unfair because of the
Systematic.
Yeah.
She's the government. The government. She's talking about systematic oppression.
She ain't talking about the cheese.
Okay, she's talking about systematic oppression. Is that fair?
Yes, that's fair.
Right. She's saying since there is a system oppressing folk, whether it be, give me some folk that are oppressed.
Yeah, Negroes.
The Negro people, okay, blacks, but it would be all people of color. Yes.
The Cushites.
Women.
Cushites, okay, women are oppressed. Okay, so we have oppressed people, yes. As so basically an argument for that would be 99% of the world controls 90%. Excuse me, I'm sorry, 1% of the world controls 90% of the world's income. Right, so that seems unfair. Okay, an argument against that is, does systematic oppression have to apply to you? Which now would lead us into your defense.
With everything that I've learned, with all the teachings that you have taught, life is fair because life only gives you what you vibrate at, or life only gives you what you deeply desire.
Check, 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 check. That is the objective answer.
She can answer.
I just say you can ask no more questions. You got too many. You have too many Antonio teachings. Too many objective teachings in you. Yes, yeah. We need to get some of that in. You be quiet. All right. So we're going to keep you quiet for at least 20 minutes. Okay. Now, let's Now think about this for a second. Let's go back to, we're going to take your argument. Well, you got what you want, right? Can you apply the law of attraction inside of the system of oppression?
Yeah.
All right. Therefore, you poked a hole in your own argument. Yes. Is there anyone, right? You get what I'm saying? Is there anyone that has ever achieved something that you think is great that came from your very situation? And the answer is yes, you poke a hole in your argument. I'm not trying to poke your argument apart. I'm just saying every single time anyone can get an argument, I can poke it. That doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it factual. It just makes the world beautiful. Because what Reggie said at the beginning, if you say yes, then automatically someone has the right to say no. That's the beauty of this world. Is that fair?
Just don't say nothing.
If you don't say nothing,
Don't do nothing.
that is a fantastic question. If you don't, it's like that death question. What was death? I don't know. Is it something? Well, yeah, but what's on the other side? I don't know. Okay. And that I don't know-ness is something you can't answer because it's nothing anymore. But is no action nothing? No, it's called inaction. And inaction is an action. It's just not an action that serves you. There's a great example for this. You're driving your car. You take your hands off the wheel and you say, you know what? I'm just not going to do nothing.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Jesus, take the wheel. You go,
Do one of them.
I'm not going to do nothing. Yes? You in the audience. I'm not going to do nothing, right? And what happens? The road turns right, and gravity says, or this a whole bunch of stuff. All three laws of motion, gravity, wind resistance, bumps in the road, tires not being perfectly 360 degrees, they take over. Just because you went in action, I'm not going to get into a wreck because I'm going to take my hands off the wheel. Is that going to happen? No, because the world is still having an action. And since you started something, even inaction is an action. Okay, so if you do inaction, what's the opposite and the equal reaction to inaction? A action. There are immediate problems. You wrote this for me, didn't you? And write that back up in your handwriting. Why does life, I believe, is what you put there. There you go. There you go. Work it. Put the little F a little. That looked like a, there you go. You had a little hook head going on. Now y'all know I got a live audience in front of me. Why does life seem unfair? There's three immediate problems immediately with this question. Okay? Number one is, here, come here, you got pretty handwriting. Come on up here. We're going to have you, I'm going to stand in front of the board and block the audience just for a second. Actually, let's switch, you and I switch. There you go. I should still be on camera. Now you're going to write number one, we'll put you, second person plural. You're going to put you are not the only sower. You are not the only sower. Everybody got me? Mm-hmm. This is a major problem. I'll write the rest. That one is going to be the hardest for me to prove. Now, this is easy to prove. Is it a true thing? Is it a true thing that you sow seeds? No one's going to disagree with that. Is it also a true thing if you have seeds, someone else has seeds? Yes. No one's going to disagree with that. You know where people are going to disagree? When I put that together in this world. Here's where people are going to disagree. If you have seeds and Dominique has seeds, and both of you are planting seeds for whatever you think is fair for your life, what does that automatically create in the world system? It does create a harvest. It does. Harvest is the right answer. I'm not talking objectively at this moment. I'm talking about as far as someone observing those seeds, what do I get to say? If you have seeds, let's point this somewhere. I had her write this because I want y'all to, she seems to have like this line in her head, these little pretty bubble letters. I had her write this. This is going to be the hardest for me to prove. You see, this is, if you have any bleeding heart, if you have any religious background, I have to slow down and get past your denominations or religion or whatever it is. Let's point this somewhere. I am not the only sower. We're going to say we're both applying for a job now. Yes? Let's do that. Here is the job. I'm not the only sower. We're going to put Deanna, just put D. I'm going to put Deanna, well, I'll spell your name just to prove that I can spell it. I'm going to put Deanna here. And we're going to put Dominique, 2 D's.
He did.
I realized after I said it, I left myself wide open. Deanna, Dominique. Yes? Everybody got this? These two are going to, they want the harvest of the job. Mm-hmm. What must they do?
Apply for it.
Which is sow seeds. Keep it in harvest talk. Okay. If they both want the harvest of the job, they both must what? Sow seeds to get the job. Right. Yeah. But I can only give away one job.
So you got a lot of seeds.
What is that? All right. What that automatically creates, I'm not telling you this is objective. I'm just telling you once you put it in this system controlled by man, this creates some of those, you actually said it. Some of those seeds go what?
Sifted.
Sifted out, canceled out, done. This creates.
Competition.
And y'all can't stand that. You can't wrap your head around that life's not fair. Life is a competition. Period. Do plants compete with the sunlight?
No.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Oh.
The rainforest is a great example of that.
Because not all places get the rain.
Not all places get the rain, and when you go to the rainforest at the bottom, what happens is there are plants down there that don't get sunlight because the tallest trees soak up most of the sunlight.
I got all the sunlight.
I got all the sunlight.
short people.
All you short trees do something. And what happens is those other trees have to bend a little bit, use alternative light sources or super bend. Yes. And prosperity is up top, but there's a system of lack for other plant life at the bottom, and they have different food sources. For instance, mushrooms thrive in the darkness. Do you understand? Now, is that wrong? No, it's nature. I'll give it to you another way. Here is something very hard for all of you to receive. There is no such thing as equality. Now, Antonio, you a black man. Now, wait a minute now. Now, you're not going to do that. Now people struggle. You're not going to say that we're not equal. That's not what I'm saying.
Application, it says that we need to be treated equal.
It does say that. That was also an Enlightenment period document, first written by John Locke of England, and then adopted by, who's the writer of the Declaration of Independence? Thomas Edison? No, that's the Thomas Jefferson. All right, I got all these names in my head. But that's an Enlightenment period document, 1750 to 1900 roughly. Okay, or 1750 to 1850, 1900, depending on some scholars. Here's what I'm basically saying. That's a document. That was an idea. It was a fantastic one. Martin Luther King died for it. The forefathers of America wrote that down, but they got it first from England. That's the truth. But it's not objective. Your right arm is not the same size as your left arm. Your right boob is not the same size as your left boob. Your eyelashes are not. Your eyelashes are not the same length.
I'm sorry.
So if you want to create equality, you must literally create it. That's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with our world today. We say things like, well, listen, just make everybody even. But if I come from deep in poverty, giving me the same amount of evenness doesn't catch me up. It only lifts me so far because I started from so low. You understand? My point is, competition is everywhere, whether you like it or not. So you know why you say life is not fair? Because you can't handle life is competition. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's difficult, isn't it? Here's how the law of attraction helps with understanding this competition. You need to calm down. Okay? And vibrate at that job.
Little buddy.
Okay? Vibrate at that job, little buddy, is what he's saying. Now, if I don't get that job, listen,
Vibrate to another one.
you need to trust that since you didn't plant any bad seeds, this is where y'all go wrong. And since you were at the right vibration and you didn't get that job, it didn't mean you lost it. It means you gained the opportunity not to get that job so you can get what you were actually vibrating at.
Right.
Say that again. Paul.
Yes, this
Say
is
it to the little
difficult.
buddies.
This is difficult. Little buddy, budishas, you need to understand that you You. If you don't get the open door, it is because the universe knew the fastest, quickest, and most harmonious. I'm a lazy Dr. Writer. Fastest, quickest, most harmonious way. And that job was not the fastest, quickest, most harmonious way for you to get what you desired.
You probably get hired at the spot across the street.
Do you understand? Right.
Right across the street.
Right.
Your
This universe, all nature, operates in a lazy intelligence. The universe uses the least amount of energy to do the smartest thing possible. No, you got to receive. I can't even give you two until you receive. I said this was going to be the hardest one for me to prove. You know why this is so hard for you to prove? Because when you are religious, religion is great. You understand? Religion is great if you apply it properly. Even if you don't apply it properly, it still has its benefits for you. It is documented that if you pray, you're probably going to live longer because prayer is meditation and it will calm you down, little buddy. And all disease comes from stress. Does everyone receive that I am not attacking religion?
Yes.
But when you are religious and you don't have the correct motives and you don't have the proper understanding up here, okay, when you're not calm, here's what you're going to do. You are going to use some sort of deity, theos, some sort of, that's God, some sort of, in Greek, some sort of deity for you not to take responsibility for your life. Nah, that's tough. You're going to use, I didn't get that job, so it must not have been meant for me. That's good. So I'm going to keep on staying happy. Nope, that's not what you do. That's not what you do. I didn't get that job. It's not meant for me. You know what? I quit. Or I'm just going to pray. I'm not going to do. I'm just going to pray and take the responsibility out of my hands and put it in some higher power hands. You understand? Mm-hmm. Just because you vibrate at the right frequency doesn't mean you don't have to fill out the application. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. In summation, you're not the only sower. And therefore, since you're not the only sower, you can't win every basketball game, Reggie. You don't get to go undefeated. Do you understand? You don't get to go undefeated. You don't get to do that. You have to lose sometime. You have to lose. And some people can handle that losing is winning because there is no losing and there is no winning. There is only super winning. It's the truth. There is no losing. There is no winning. There is only super winning. And as long as you're alive, you are super winning because the odds of you being a human being are astronomical. Difficult. And right now, someone's still rejecting that. And I get it. And just take your time. It's okay. Take your time and realize you're not the only sower, which means that you're not going to get everything. Sometime here in the future, as of this recording, there will be a Super Bowl. Both teams are going to pray. Do you understand what I'm saying? Both teams going to pray. Both teams practice all year. Both teams going to do everything right.
One team going to win.
One team's going to win. That ball going to do some crazy things. Do you understand? Because there are going to be 55 players per roster, 11 players on the field at one time per team. And guess what's going to happen?
Tell them what colors of the team.
I don't know.
White, purple, and black.
You going for a specific team, I
That's
suppose.
the only colors I see.
That sound like the Ravens.
That's it.
Okay. All right. There he's sowing seeds for the Ravens.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
Hey, so if you're Ravens fans, you appreciate him.
Yes.
If you are not Ravens
I'm
fans,
praying now.
okay,
They
he's
ain't
praying
even
out.
late.
But the opposing teams of the Ravens are not going to be sowing. Ravens, you should win the Super Bowl.
Right.
And that gives you the illusion life is unfair. That's tough.
Somebody's in
You like that in sports, but you don't like it in your life. Think about it. You like that in sports, but you don't like it in your life.
Because it's entertainment in sports. It's not entertainment in life.
You're right. It's not entertainment in life, which actually perfectly leads me to the second thing. You are, I'm lazy, judge by what you, I'm going to write it real big, do, not what you intended.
I thought he was going to put his.
Wow.
See, what y'all want to do is you want to say, nah, but that ain't what I wanted. Or I didn't mean to. So you shouldn't treat me like that. Someone in the audience is pointing to themselves. But in life, the people are going to be judging you by what you do. Now, let's put that objectively. I'm going to rewrite this, or I'm going to redraw it. I'm going to say it two different ways, okay? Life seems unfair because you planted a seed, and that was an action. But you intended or changed your mind, and now you want that harvest. But what went in the ground? The action went in the ground. Not, ooh, I'm sorry. You can apologize all you want. But that's still coming. I say I'm gonna say it two different ways, right? See, every time I do this, people say I'm one of the world leaders at law of attraction, not because I'm smart, because I know how to think about opposing viewpoints coming at me, and I do this so much, I'm ready for this one. You prayers, you cannot pray away the result of a seed. You cannot pray away a harvest. And life seems unfair. You know why? Let me tell you why life seems unfair to people who think or know that they have changed. And you have. And give yourself credit. You have changed. And be proud of that. You have changed. And don't lose faithfulness. You have changed. Help me out here. Don't get weary in well doing. For in due season.
You will reap.
You will reap.
If you faint not.
If you faint not. That's King James Version. But the important part, in due season, that means wait a little bit. You know why? Because you planted that seed 1997.
Nah, talk to him.
You changed
That's what I want to talk about.
2005.
Came back together.
Gave your whole life away to your religion. It was good. But some of the stuff you planted here, you still got to reap in 2009. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Just because you're a good person doesn't mean that seed is not going to become a harvest. Now, so I'm going to give you a new number 2 to make this more sense. Like, it's got somebody turning that.
So what I did in 2015.
You probably ain't paid fully for that in 2020. Some seeds, all seeds have a time delay. All harvests Yes, all harvests don't ripe at the same
I thought they
time.
was only looking at it.
No, not just liquor. Them Long Island iced teas. You stand up, you're gonna feel that. You get it?
Yeah.
Now, I need you to receive. Life seems unfair because you want all your harvests to come up at the same time, and you want when you change, you don't want to pay for what you did.
Ain't that the yin and the yang?
That is the yin and the
It
yang.
should be even and
And
equal.
it should be even and equal.
Life is unfair.
And it is even and equal. It just ain't even all at the same time. Equal all at the same time. I said a lot.
Yes,
I said a lot.
but that we change and we don't want to pay for who we
You
used
still-
to be.
And here's the, so let me write if you want to know why life is fair, and let me rewrite number 2 for you if you're taking notes. I'm gonna try to write it this way. I can't.
You want me to write it?
Yes, you come right. She's gonna write it for me because I want you to receive this. Erase that one and write this. I want you to receive this. The reason why life seems unfair, but it is fair, is because you always live in the residual of what you planted. You always live in the residual of what you planted. It's okay. You always live in the residual of what you planted.
Some people always took care of me.
Yes, people always took care of you. Now, here's what that means. That means Reggie did something, as of this recording is 2020. In 2019, Reggie did something that did not serve him. I don't want to say bad because objectively, it's no bad. It's also no good. It's what serves you, what does not. Reggie did something in 2019 that did not serve him. He has not reaped that harvest yet. Reggie now does things that serves him. Reggie must still reap that harvest, but he's changed. But that's okay. In March, Reggie will receive what he planted last April. His whole life is that way. You never, everybody, yes, please remember this. You never sow and reap at the same time. Now you gotta, life is unfair.
All those ministries in jail.
All those ministries in jail. And there's a lot of people in jail going to come out and do a lot of great things because they're in jail for who they used to be. As a result of their change before jail, during sentencing, in jail, they will then reap what they are now, but they can't reap what they are now and live what they are now at the same time. Let me give it to you a different way.
Can you take weeds off somebody so they can grow and get the proper light they need
Yes, you can.
and help that seed grow?
Absolutely,
And
you
then it's
can.
gonna turn around and get some of them weeds off you.
Absolutely, you can. I'm glad you asked that because I wouldn't have put it in a part of the script. So I'm glad you asked that. His question, more simply put, is can you help people not pay for their harvest? Basically.
Because that is something that I am good at.
That is something you're good at. You want to, yes, I do that. But you want to be careful, but yes, you can. I'm going to give this to you religiously, and I'm going to give it to you, I think you would call it secularly. Okay? Let's go to Christianity, and then we'll go somewhere else. David says, King David, my cup
Ran a track meet.
okay, my cup
Out the cup.
My cup runneth over. Okay, my cup runneth over. The reason why David's cup is running over because David surmises his God, that's theos, Greek for God, is pouring out so much to where he is blessed. Now, the answer to Reggie's question is very simple. If you're empty, find you find yourself over here with your hands out and get some of the overflow. So you don't have to start from empty.
That's my size too.
Do you understand? Find yourself here. You can't get what's in David's cup is for David. What flows from his cup.
Shout it.
If you in the you say you almost shot it. What flows from his overflow is what you call abundance, and it's meant to be shared.
That's what I always said about this.
Do it.
Just touch the tip of your shoe.
Do you understand?
Some of them.
Would you like another religious example? All right, let me give you another religious example. In Mark chapter 4, that's Jesus in Latin. This is, these are the Latin translate. Well, yeah.
I mean, not, you know what I'm talking about.
You'll see this a lot in
I've seen that.
churches because it's I'm gonna say it in Hebrew. It's Jesus. It's Christos. It's J, X, and then the S at the end. It's the initials. Okay, so it's not. I think some people say in heaven. Anyway, Jesus. Okay, I got all these languages in my head, so sometimes when I write, it's in different languages. But and the reason I'm gonna tell you why I do that because I'm explaining to you, and I try to go back to the source of who first explained it, and depend on that language, it pops out of me. In this case, we're talking Aramaic, but it was the understanding of this or the teaching came from Latin, so I'm just stuck here from Latin. Okay, Jesus in Mark chapter 4. Is on the boat. The end of the boat. Hinder part. Sleep. Storm comes. Disciples are like, bruh, it's crazy out here. Waves get in the boat. Let me pause right there. That's actually the only time you suffer. When what is outside gets on the inside. Do you mind if I go somewhere with this? If you want for life to be fair, stop letting what's on the outside get in the inside. Can I push that further? Stop letting other people's opinions. Stop letting those comparisons. Stop letting what you don't have out there affect you in here. You understand? All right, I had to he had to stretch over there. All right. Is that fair? Is that fair? Okay, good stuff. Stop letting what's on the outside get on the inside, and you will always find life fair. You will always been content in whatever condition that you're in. Fair? All right, here we go. So now all the waves got inside, and here's what happened. The text says Jesus speaks away the storms, and there's a whole thing there that I won't get into, but at the beginning of that pericope is a $20 word for episode. There are other little boats that were with this big boat. So when Jesus spoke away this storm, for these people, they benefited. Oh, did you do it again? Okay. When Jesus fixed the disciples' problem, he fixed the other disciples' problems that have no names. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you want to be the beneficiary of someone helping you get rid of your weeds, or if you want to help people get rid of their weeds, you must simply be around someone in abundance, or be a person of abundance. But wherever there is abundance, there is the dilution or the weakening of weeds. We'll put it more simple. Your rent may be behind, but find some friends that'll help out.
Tell them about the jail, boss. Tell them about jail.
Which jail? The jail.
Tell them about jail, boss. Tell them that you might be in jail.
Oh, that's right.
Suffering from what you think you suffer.
You want
But
to
there's some other people
come
in
on up
there
here.
that need what you got.
Need what you
that
got.
Everybody else didn't appreciate
Everybody.
when you was out there doing
Turn that thing around on him. No, he go. Now he go. You in jail, somebody sending you come and say.
So it wasn't about
understand?
about being in jail.
Go cut that down for me. Somebody, right? You in jail, but somebody sending you come and say. That make sense? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
That's how you eliminate. That's how you fix the problems. If you're going to be a weed reliever, you need to be a disciple, or you need to have abundance, or you need to calm down. You need to be the person of calm so you can then help someone. What you cannot be.
Help somebody in your unhelpful.
That's right. That's the whole point of life, is for you to go through something so you can help someone going through.
That was it.
You get it? All right. Now, the third thing you need to do is you need to know that you suck. You do. Okay? You do. Now, I'm going to lighten
The
that up.
camera saved us
Okay.
for what it really called us. Y'all hear my voice, but you don't see
Here,
it.
come write down number 3 for me.
Liquid.
Here's number 3.
Abominations.
Number 3 for me is your view of fairness is selfish.
Yes, it is.
And that is your ultimate problem. Your view of fairness is selfish.
That's right.
You
Get under the table.
have made
Show ass.
every experience that you have about your happiness, about your fairness. What you're saying is, this is happening to me.
Yeah. Get them to preach.
And you forgot it's always happening for you.
Yeah.
That's the problem. If you ever say life isn't fair, you say, what you're really saying is, I'm not getting my way.
2020.
Do you understand? And when you say, I'm not getting my way,
Like a plum full.
you now say, I'm the most important thing on planet Earth. I am no longer in harmony with everything else on planet Earth. And I want this to happen for me so I can start adding value to y'all. I'm going to say it.
Something that light bulb.
Until life is fair, I have no value to give.
That's selfish.
Does number 3 make someone biased as well? Like,
Number 3 is where all biases come from. It doesn't make someone biased. This is where all of it comes from. When I don't have anything to give, can you smile? I guarantee it. No, it's the truth. If you, I don't have nothing. Can you tell a joke? Well, yeah, I know some jokes. Then go out there and tell jokes. And watch laughter go on faces. And then watch the universe say, oh, you are making people laugh. You are relieving stress from people. And the big hand in this universe is going to say, okay, then, here's some money maybe to relieve your stress. Because you made someone smile, here, something to make you smile. Because you gave forgiveness, here is forgiveness for you. You don't have to have stuff, because, and the final point is this question is fundamentally flawed. Why does life seem unfair? Life, as Deanna said at the very beginning, now you can talk. They didn't want you to talk. This life is always fair because you're always getting what you're creating. The question is flawed. If you lack anywhere, It means you stop giving in that area. It's the only thing that means. Life is not unfair. Am I telling you you're wrong? No, because if I borrowed from Henry Ford, I believe, if you think you can, if you think you can't, you're right. Doesn't matter. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're always right. This is why when everyone answered, y'all were right. But I said, would you like for me to give you what is objective? And what is objective are these 3 rules. I could give you more, but these are pretty good. I could literally do the part 2, 3, 4, and 5 to this. These are pretty good.
Yeah.
I had to give you, this was the hardest one. That whole
For me, 3 was the hardest.
3 was the hardest one. Okay.
Biased, come on.
Yes, you are biased, right? This, you don't. And so it's something we say right here now. If you got to defend yourself, you are operating number 3. Well, I just want you to hear me. I'm sorry, what?
I got 2 ears.
Well, the universe revolves around me so much, I need you to hear me so you can be comfortable with me in this place.
You don't understand.
Right? Yes, I gotta let y'all can't see it, but everybody don't care. They run it now. But I just need you, if you, I wouldn't have been mad if you wouldn't have. If you wouldn't say this, I wouldn't do that.
If you would listen,
If you would just listen, I wouldn't have cheated. If you wouldn't have, I would have money if, and all of that, it messes you up. Is that fair? So let's give you a good, I'm trying to give you a sentence or 2 that if you forget everything I said, you can hold on to at least this. Change your prepositions. If I can just give you anything, I said already, but I'm trying to give you, if you can just remember this one catchy thing, you get it, then you can remember all this. These prepositions are killing you. You operate here if you think this sentence is true. That happened to me. They keep doing, this keeps happening to me. How many of us said that before? I got my hand up first. If you change that to for me, what happens now is you say, wow, what good lesson can I learn in this bad situation? This is for me. These chargebacks will for me to fix the holes in the company. Oh, they trying to get me. And then y'all broke. Right? You broke if I take that approach. But if I go, you know what? These customers are happy. That's for me. I shouldn't change. No, they're happy. That's a lesson for me to learn. What should I learn? Let's go ask why they're happy. So if it ever gets broken, I know how to fix it. These customers are unhappy. They trying to get me. I'm black. Or my product sucks. How about that?
take that.
You know what I'm saying?
Find that.
All situations, you should look for the good and the bad. There's a great book I recommend to you. It's by Spencer Johnson. It's called Peaks and Valleys. It's like a 90-page book that will absolutely change your life. Sometimes you can catch it on Amazon for a penny. You really can. That's it. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plant better. You can dominate.